And if the rules were being broken on Madison Avenue, it was nothing compared to what was going on down in the fashion district, where nothing was too sacred, too silly, or too sexy to try.
Well, the clothing was very wacky. It was kooky. It was wild. Men were walking around with ruffles on their shirts, and women were wearing these hip huggers below their belly button, doing all kinds of things that hadn't been done before. And it was kind of to the 50s, where there were so many rules, and we just threw all those rules out the window and said, well, I'm going to wear this fur hat on my head, and I'm going to wear the feathers and the boa and everything.
They were fantastic. I thought they were just great. We get tagged a bit with it because of the reinforcement from the repeated airings of our show, but everybody was wearing that kind of style, bell-bottoms, platform boots, plaids and paisleys and polyester. Those are the fashions that basically the kids could wear.
I love the clothes of the 70s. I'm wearing bell-bottoms once again, which I love, by the way. I think they're very attractive.
Psychedelic sounds, psychedelic sights, and the people. Well, you name your type and it should be floating around somewhere.
The anything-goes attitude of the fashion world added steam to an already hard-charging sexual revolution.
Whatever you wanted to do was kind of encouraged by people. Yeah, go for it, do it. Instead of thinking, well, all of the consequences and the A, B's, and C's of it, it was just kind of a go-for-it attitude.
Perhaps nothing made this point more clearly than the hot pants craze of the 70s. And right on the cutting edge of all of it was one Sherilyn Sarkisian, a.k.a. Cher, who seemed to sum up the 70s with both her flash and her substance. From tart-tongued feminist wife waging an early skirmish in the battle of the sexes, to working mother, to finally sexy divorcee going it alone, Cher was in many ways the personification of the 70s.
I think Cher is a genius at reinventing herself and making it work.
On 1971's The Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, Cher plays not the dutiful and doting wife of old, but rather the sassy feminist ready to give her husband a dig rather than fetch him a beer.
I love that song. It just goes all over the world.
Cher,
All over.
Cher, come on. Knock that off. What if you were sitting out there and watching us, right now? Be honest, what would you say?
I'd say the same thing everybody else says. What does she see in that man?
I am a huge Cher fan. I just think she's just fantastic. She was a strong representative for the women's movement.
The times were really changing around 1970, and women's lib was coming in. Women were assuming more of a dominant role, not only in television, but in real life. And I think this opened up the possibilities for Cher to zing in those one-liners and be the one that's smarter of the two.
I don't think it's any secret that Sonny was no dummy. He was a very, very bright guy, and I think the brains behind that.
The show is remarkable for other reasons as well, not the least of which is that Cher is dark-skinned and clearly ethnic. Rather than hide her heritage, Cher seems to play to it, releasing singles like Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, and wearing costumes which call attention to her ethnicity.
She was a blend of different cultures, and she kind of popularized the exoticness of a lot of those different cultures, fashion-wise, in her songs, and ultimately in the 80s and 90s in the characters she's played on the silver screen.